Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. It's been a while since I've been on here, but I'm glad to be back. And I'm just so thankful for all of my listeners. But in today's episode, a wasp nest in the seven spirits of God. And I know that's a very weird title, but just stay with me for a minute. When there is something that you're unsure of, you're not too sure how to do, right? When you just say, hey, I don't really know what to do about this. What should I do? What is the first thing that you typically do? The first thing that I do, well, one, sometimes I typically just call my mother. Yeah, I'm 38 years old, but I'll call my mother and ask her a question, right? Because I know for me, in my experience, when I had a wasp nest, right? They're very troubling. They're in the way. You're scared because they're either attacking you, they're attacking the children, and you're just like, I don't want to get stung, right? You're fearful of them, right? And then of course, when I ask my mother, she's always, Robin, I don't know. She's always telling me that she doesn't know something, and usually 9 times out of 10, she'll say that she doesn't know, but then she'll give me the answer. But in this case, she really didn't know. So I had to go and look it up on YouTube or look it up on the internet and said, or, and then I put in there and I wrote, how do you kill a wasp nest? And when I looked to the internet, it said that you have to do it at night. Do it at night. They're not active at night. So, because in my mind, I'm thinking at night, I can't see it. I don't know. How am I going to do this at night? And then it could see me, but I can't see it. And so when I was reading and I kept reading so I could better understand it. And I'm like, okay, so they're not active at night. So maybe this should work. So I went ahead, I did what they told me to do. I got the bug spray, the wasp spray, and I sprayed it on there at night. And then surely the next day, it really was. It was completely dead. And I was like, wow, I had never known that to work. Okay, so I had to do it at night. But in doing so at night, that brought me to the book of Revelation, right? Revelation 2, verse 10. It says, do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. And God says, I tell you, the devil will put some of you in a prison to test you, and you will suffer, right? He tells us that we will suffer, but to be faithful even to the point of death. It was just really resonating with me. And I'm like, why? Why does God bring us to the darkness? Which then that brings me also to Jeremiah 29:11, right? Which God states, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, the plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I'm just like, I'm still like, God, I'm still not understanding why you bring some of us to the darkness, which then again brought up the seven spirits of God, right? Because he brought me to the book of Revelation, and of course Jeremiah, but more so towards the book of Revelation. And the first of the seven spirits is the spirit of the Lord, right? Is the foundation, the God's presence and his authority. The spirit of wisdom, right? He gives us insight, understanding of God's will and his ways. He brings us to that understanding, which brings us to the spirit of understanding. He gives us the ability to comprehend what it is that he's bringing us through, whether that comprehension and understanding comes while we're in the midst of the storm or whether it comes months, weeks, and years later, right? We don't know, but he will bring us that understanding. Then the fourth is the spirit of counsel, right? God's guidance. He's providing the guidance, the direction, the discernment, and the decision making, right? Even if we make the wrong decision, he will then guide us with that counsel through on a detour that takes us right back and puts us right back that straight path, right? He makes all of our crooked paths straight. Then the fifth is the spirit of strength. God is empowering us to overcome challenges. He likes to prepare us when we're in preparation. He likes to bring us the strength because we're always wanting to give up. That's the first thing when we feel any type of inconvenience is I feel defeated. I want to give up. But it's God who keeps giving us that strength. And then the spirit of knowledge, which knowledge and wisdom, they definitely go hand in hand. But the knowledge comes with the belief, right? The belief you're believing in God and his purposes. And then number 7, the spirit of fear of God, the fear of the Lord. And he's not meaning you're fearful of God. No, he's saying you're being fearful as in you have to lead in obedience. You want to obey what God says to do. That's the fear of God. But with that being said, it brings me to when God has us in either a toxic relationship or a toxic workplace, right? Or any type of toxic situation, really. And you think to yourself, God, I'm so tired of fighting. I'm tired of dealing with it. Why do I have to constantly keep dealing with just fighting every single day? I'm tired, God. I don't understand why I have to keep doing this. Every time I get a new job, it's toxic. Or every time I'm in a new relationship, it ends the same way. And God says, I have to bring you to the darkness. Right. And it's like just like that wasp nest where the only way to get to kill the wasp is to do it at night. Right. Because then the wasp kind of represent the darkness at this point is what I'm trying to get at is. But when we ask God, why is this happening to me? Or why am I going through this? Sometimes we don't understand our season of being hidden and why God is hiding us. But just like Jeremiah 29:11, where he says, the plans to prosper you and not to harm you. God is our provider and our protector. He is always going to protect us. And sometimes he protects us by keeping us hidden in the darkness. But when he puts us in the darkness, he's putting us there for a reason, even though we don't understand it yet, right? His ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts, as God is above us. But God also is the beginning and the end. He is the Alpha and the Omega. So what he's asking for us is to trust him. Even when we can't see it, we don't fully understand it. And we say, God, why am I in this dark cage right now? Why do I keep going into the darkness? And God says, because you're my chosen. The light of me shines within you. But sometimes I have to put you in the darkness so I can keep you hidden so they won't attack you. Just like a wasp, if you try to kill a wasp nest in the daylight, right, in the sunshine, they're going to see you and they're going to attack you and they're going to harm you. It's going to hurt. They're going to sting you. You're being attacked by them. But when God puts you somewhere in the darkness, now you're camouflaged. Now the enemy, they don't know what's hidden in the shadows, right? The light will reveal. So sometimes God sends us into these dark places for us to create that storm because something in us allows people to look at themselves. And that's what a lot of people don't like. Looking in the mirror is one of the hardest things to do, right? Minus holding yourself accountable. But being able to look in the mirror and see that reflection that you don't want to see, that's hard to accept. And when people do that, it upsets them, right? Because it's going to upset those demons when they finally are seeing it themselves, or when they see that they can't pull a fast one over you, right? You can't be manipulated. They start not to like that. So now you're creating this storm because your light is breaking up that darkness. But what God does, because some of these jobs, Some of these jobs or some of these relationships, sometimes we try to hold on to them, right? Because out of fear, we hold on to it thinking, oh, I won't be able, if I don't make this much money, I'll never be able to make this much money somewhere else. Or this relationship is so convenient. They do this for me. They do that for me, but it's toxic as ever. And we want to hold on and try our hardest to hold on to it. But God says, now is the time. Your time here is up. This is what I needed you here for. I needed to bring you to the darkness just so that your light could shine. And you think to yourself, God, I just got here. Why? But we don't have to know the why right away. Right? Sometimes the why is hidden, but it's our trust and our faith that just goes right there with God, because we know that he's leading the way. We know that we're protected, and we know that we can speak authority over the flesh. The flesh is what tells us to stay and, oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't like it. I much rather just stay where I'm comfortable. I'll just deal with the toxicity. It's fine. That's when we don't have faith. That's not faith speaking. That's us leaning on our own understanding, waiting to just see what our eyes can see. But that's what God says, no, don't do that. Even in the darkness, I need you to lean on me. I know the plans that I have for you, and they are to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. But he also allows the darkness, right? He has the devil on a leash. They have to, the devil and the enemies, the darkness has to get permission from God, because it's God that is the Almighty. So as we fight through these storms, and we're constantly asking the question as to why, just go with what God is leading you and find out why later. Just trust that he's going to protect you, even in the darkness when we cannot see whatever is hidden, whether it's us ourselves that are hidden or the understanding is hidden. Sometimes he's growing us in wisdom. He's growing us in faith. He's growing us all the time. But our purpose is to bring others back to the light, right? There's a lot of gifts that we have. Some of us are aware of our gifts. Some of us aren't aware of our gifts. Some of us utilize our gifts. Some of us don't utilize our gifts. But at the end of the day, our purpose is to bring God's children back home. And right now is the most crucial time that we have to try to bring others back to the light. We have to break up that darkness. And sometimes we're going to be sent into the darkness in order to break that darkness up, in order to kill some of it, right? We got to close those portals, close that spiritual warfare. Because if you read the book of Revelation, you know that a lot of these prophecies are unfolding. And now is the time to really start praying and be there for one another, right? God is promoting unity while the world is promoting segregation. But the world is also trying to promote it to worship man and not worship God. So now is the time is to lean on those 7 spirits of God and just open up the book of Revelation. Open up the good book, period, and just let the Lord lead you to where you need, to what you need to read and where you need to go. Allow his guidance, allow his guidance and allow his counsel. Sometimes we don't always know what to ask. We don't know what to say. But when you just take a moment to just sit in silence with God, he will bring you that answer. And the more that you keep asking God, you always go to God for confirmation, for discernment. You just start going to God for everything. You go from believing in God to knowing God. And that's what it's all about. But again, I'm Robin Black. This is It's All About Healing podcast. Everyone, stay blessed. Again, I'm your host, Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. If you're navigating grief, toxic relationships, trauma, financial pressure, or the slow work of rebuilding after setback piled upon setback, this channel is for you. Our community now spans 118 countries, proof that real stories travel and that healing accelerates when we carry one another. Share your story, lend your voice, and let grace turn pain into purpose. Book your podcast in the link below and share your story. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, and good night. Stay blessed.